Might not be able to elevate like I once did, or I might not slide my feet left and right like I once did, but you're playing for the love of the game. I relax a little bit rather than trying to play for a contract or an all-star nod.
Last night, the Warriors lost their play-in tournament game to the Sacramento Kings. Obviously, they are now eliminated from making the playoffs. Their season is over. I'm going to go through teams that Klay Thompson potentially could sign to now that he will be a free agent this year. And in last night's game, he shot 0 for 10 from the field, 0 for 6 from the three-point line. He also had 0 points. To be honest, in your last game, contract year, that's obviously not going to be a good sign. After the game, Steve Kerr said he still believes in this core of the team. And in the previous clip that I just showed y'all, when Klay Thompson was on the Draymond Green podcast, he believed that the core of the team that they have could still work. In the end, although the Warriors players and the coaching staff probably still believe in this team and want to run things back, it's ultimately going to come down to what the front office thinks. Right now, the Warriors are almost minus $89 million in cap space. That's the most out of all NBA teams in terms of not having any cap space. Now, they have the bird rights for Klay Thompson, basically meaning they could continue to exceed the cap space and sign him back regardless of how much money he's asking for. The question is, what does Klay Thompson think he's worth in terms of money, and are the Golden State Warriors willing to pay that? I don't want to speculate. I will say if they do, I believe it's going to be because they're thinking, hey, Jonathan Kuminga is going to be a really great player. They pick up his team option, and then eventually they're going to have to sign him back. Chris Paul's contract will be off the books at that time. So maybe they want to keep that core around a guy like a Kuminga. Again, assuming Steph Curry still has a lot of juice left. Simply put, they would be stuck with this core group of team and they wouldn't be able to sign a significant free agent. In the event, though, that this does not happen, now let's look at teams that I think Klay Thompson could possibly go to. From the earlier clip that I played, it sounds like Klay Thompson is not harboring too much on money. However, I do not see him going to a team that is at least not a playoff team. This is why Orlando Magic, to me, is a perfect scenario. They have a lot of cap space in terms of other teams, or just not a lot of huge contracts, and they could take Klay Thompson, a guy like that, on the team. And also, it's essentially a good fit, right? The Orlando Magic, they don't have a lot of shooting guards on the team that are of higher significance or somebody who would take precedent over Klay Thompson. Again, there's some other combo guards that are listed on their squad, but ultimately none of these guys stand out to me more than a Klay Thompson. So this is a good fit in my opinion, and it could possibly work. This one might be a little bit more of a stretch, but I actually like it more than the Orlando Magic fit because the thought of Tyrese Halliburton and Klay Thompson in the backcourt, that would be crazy with Halliburton's ability to play point guard. And the Pacers, they don't have a lot of big contracts, but here's the thing. They got Siakam, who's a free agent. I'm assuming they're going to want to sign him back. And then on top of that, you have Tyrese Halliburton's contract at $35 million that kicks in. So for this to work, it would have to be, you know, maybe Klay really takes some sort of a pay cut, depending on what Siakam signs back for. However, I need to mention Benedict Mathurin. He's a young player, shooting guard on the Indiana Pacers. He has a lot of game and maybe a lot of potential as well. Just depends on their development and what they really think of him. There were some games where he was coming off the bench. But again, overall, I think the backcourt of Klay Thompson and Tyrese Halliburton throwing Pascal Siakam, I like that even a lot more than Klay Thompson joining the Orlando Magic. It would just be the cap space, the only issue. I want to end this off by reiterating, it clearly seems like the Golden State Warriors, the players, the coaching staff, they want to bring this core back. And when you have a guy like Steph Curry making this kind of statement, it's going to be hard not to find a way to sign back Klay. We'll see what happens. Peace, and let me know what y'all think. Is there any other teams you believe Klay may go to if he ends up leaving? Let me know.